Welcome, everyone, to your Akashic Energy Forecast for the week of May 23rd, 2022. I am your host, Jennifer Longmore, founder of souljourneys.ca and the #1 Akashic Record training school in the world. Say hi in the comments, whether you're watching the replay or live right now. Say hi. If you're watching the replay, let me know, and let me know where you're watching from. We have people from all over the world, which is amazing. It's amazing to me. There's a lot of things the internet doesn't get right, if you know what I'm saying. But one thing they do get right is connecting us throughout the world and making it easier for us to find each other. So excited to dive in with you today. You may be feeling some, I'll say, crunchiness in the air because we have some new fear porn getting amplified on the world stage. And not unlike the Coco, they kind of downplayed it and then, found a way to make it go from zero to catastrophe in a nanosecond. And we may be seeing that with a particular thing that most of us are seeing in the news right now. So the guides, when I asked about that, they said, well, we need to connect with the Book of Remembrance. And part of connecting with the Book of Remembrance is remembering why we're here, remembering what we're coded for, remembering what this is all about. Now, we may not consciously know that, but there's an aspect of us, of course, that does. And that's what they want us to dance with this week, is being available to reconnect with the wisdom of why we are here individually, what we're here to contribute, what we're here to share, what we're coded for, but also remembering the purpose of this planet. And keep in mind that what we've been told, even in the lightworker community, on some level has distortion to it, because we know by nature of living on this planet filled with two truths and a lie and distortions and inversions, that our understanding of what this planet is really here to serve us with can be a little bit skewed, right? So we don't need to connect in with what we've been told. They want us to connect in with the Book of Remembrance. That can just be through the energy of intention, right? To then make yourself available for what is this planet here to do for you, meaning us individually, and then also collectively, and elevating beyond any of the information we have been told, because again, we can assume, whether it's intended or not, that there is some level of distortion. Now, in connecting with the Book of Remembrance, of course, individually, it's going to allow us to show up differently, because we're going to be operating from, what am I here to create? What am I here to contribute? What am I here to receive? But then also, we don't have to get mired by the stuff that's happening on this planet. That's not, we're in the observer role for a reason. We're here to guide the masses who are choosing to really be anchored in that 3D reality, to help them navigate. And well, really, whatever they're here to spiritually master, we don't know. And we don't need to concern ourselves with that. Again, in the Book of Remembrance, we can remember things like we're all divine beings. Even if we feel that people are awake or asleep or whatever the case may be, that they're coded for that. And if they are coded for something different, those codes will be activated. How could they not? There's such strong portals of energy coming on the planet right now. To that end, they also wanted me to, and I'm doing my best to paraphrase here, right? Because the words aren't always the way that they come through. But they want us to remember that to have restoration of innocence. So our own innocence. I don't mean naivete. I mean innocence, right? We all came out of the womb at some point. And if you think about any time you see a little baby, everyone gauze and gushes over the baby, right? We see this ball of innocence, this ball of possibility, this ball of potential, like a ball of light, I mean, right, in that being. And we tend to be pretty protective of that. We tend to be in awe of that. If we can remember that everyone we deal with on the planet this week at some point was in that form, right? And then through a series of life experiences and whatever their primary cast of characters, whatever role they played for them, allowed them to grow up and be the version of them that they are now, whether or not we agree with it and support it. At some point, we were all an innocent ball of light, basically, and joy and potential. So if we saw people through that lens this week, particularly the people that we have nigglies with, particularly where there's any strain in relationships, that might allow you to hold a different perspective. They were talking a lot about how love is the beginning and the end. And I know we get that intellectually, but that it kind of goes along with that. And so this is a week where we really get to be present to the fact that we come in through a portal of love and we leave through a portal of love. Those are kind of the bookends. What if we were in that energy all the time? What else would be possible? What else would be possible for us? Would we speak to ourselves the way we do? Would we allow ourselves to tie ourselves in knots over things that don't matter? Or would we take things personally? Would we be offended if everything on some level begins and ends with love? So that is something that they want us to really be mindful of this week, because really this leg of the Great Awakening is truly about remembering what we're coded for and really leaning into a whole other level of spiritual mastery. I'm not comparing us to ascended masters. I know some people may take that the wrong way, but if we imagine that we're on a quest to metaphorically go through ascended mastery in a physical form while we're here, then would an ascended master let certain things bother them? Would they allow their consciousness to be hijacked by certain things? What's fascinating to me, and I saw someone post about it this morning, we know that the world is a stage, and we know that that the attempts to keep our focus on the world stage to distract us from our beingness, who we be, remembering who we be and what we came here to share. We also know that Hollywood actors, I'm not saying all of them, but probably a good percentage of them, right, are owned, and their job is to create fake storylines and distract us from being present to what is, being distracted from all kinds of things, right? And if you look at the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, it's kind of astounding, right? How many people are giving their attention to that. People that are aware of kind of the energies that are present on the planet, and they're still letting their consciousness be hijacked by that. They're still allowing themselves to spend hours a day consuming themselves and taking sides and all of the things, right? And that's their opportunity for mastery. But these are the things that they're wanting us to really pay attention to this week. There's going to be new distractions coming in this week. They're going to be amplifying current distractions, but also bringing in new distractions. And we don't even really need to know what those are other than to understand that they're distraction, and we can know the texture of distraction energy. So they want us to rise above that. Again, going back in with that book of remembrance, why are we here? Was I put on this planet to be distracted by deceivers on the world stage, or was I put on this planet to be a contribution in the ways that I'm here to do? The good news is that inspiration is going to be really strong this week. They showed me it's going to feel really light and joyful in your body. And because the inspiration is so strong, this is the opportunity to lean into the distraction, or to allow the inspiration to distract us away, essentially, from the distraction, if that makes sense, right? The inspiration that's coming through is so potent that can be the energy that you choose to lean into this week, and allow that to fill your cup, essentially, right? As opposed to allowing, and I'm not suggesting any of you are doing this, by the way, but just saying we can, if we're going to fill a cup, we can fill it with distraction, or we can fill it with inspiration this week, and we get to choose, right? Because again, we have the universal law of free will. But the inspiration is going to be really strong this week, and that's a good thing, because one of the invitations that you have this week is to find a way to package up your wisdom. That's not the exact terms that they're using, but if you imagine, it might be a podcast, it might be a book, it might be an oracle deck, it might be your own documentary, like who knows what it is. But there's an opportunity through this portal of inspiration to look at what are the creative ways, what are the inspired ways that I can share my wisdom with others this week, because that is, of course, the contribution. And again, reiterating the fact that the Book of Remembrance is really going to help us bring our wisdom into our body even more, and get clear on what we came here to contribute. The other thing, okay, so with the body, I always like to ask about the body because, of course, it's the vessel that houses the soul. And there's not too much to concern ourselves about with the body, but they are showing me again, this is another week where we really want to look at, get clear on what is mold and fungus toxicity look like in the body. How does that play out? And are the symptoms that you're experiencing potentially related to that? You might muscle test around that. You might go into your records around that. You might connect in with whatever energies you connect in with to get clear on that. But if anything is happening in the body, it will be to check in and see if there are any sort of direct and indirect experiences as it relates to mold and fungus, and then tuning in to see how you want to clear that out of your field. It might be that you need some physical treatments, maybe supplements or acupuncture, whatever, homeopathics, or it could be that you can clear it energetically, right? It just depends. But if you're having any kind of, if you're sighing a lot, that might be an indication. They've shown me this, that your lungs are a little bit strained, I guess you could say, right? Which is interesting because it's all about how much life we're willing to take in, and how much breath, right, we're willing to take in. So that's an opportunity this week, if that resonates for you. And then this kind of ties into the last piece, which is tuning into nurturance. How can you nurture yourself? How can you nurture your body? How can you nurture your emotional body, your mind, your spiritual growth? And recognizing that other people are going to be seeking that this week. So looking at how do you calibrate your vitality to be able to hold space for everyone that's going to be seeking more nurturance. Now, some people know how to seek that in a healthy way, and a lot of people don't, right? So you might be feeling people pulling on your energy, needing something from you, needing you to mother them, or needing you to be a big sibling, or whatever the case is, right? And so again, looking at things through the lens of love as the beginning and the end, looking at things through innocence, having compassion for that. Then even if you're feeling that people are pulling on your energy in a way this week that doesn't feel good to you, it doesn't mean you have to put up with it. It just means that the ways in which you respond and or set a boundary, etc., comes from a place of love versus irritation or exasperation or whatever other human responses you might have. So I hope that helps. I'd look forward to hearing from you in the chat how this lands with you, if you're noticing this as well, and any other energies that you're noticing. If you haven't already signed up for the Activate Your Prosperity Codes Challenge, we're starting on May 31st, 2022, and it is complimentary if you're going to participate live. And if you're not, but you still want to be a part of the information, then we're going to give you an opportunity to invest in that information for life. But most people like to participate along because they want to be held in that energy and be in the vibe of it being live. All of these challenges are very high vibe. Really what we're doing is elevating consciousness, and wealth consciousness just happens to be a part of that. But really all aspects of consciousness get elevated in that challenge because, well, how could it not, right? How we do one thing is how we do all other things. But these are really potent. We're going to be doing a lot of activations and, of course, practical ways for you to amplify your prosperity. And what does prosperity look like in this new 5D timeline, right? What's coming with us from the 3D, 4D realm, and what are new things that we're creating. So there's going to be some potent new energies that come through, and I'll pop a link in the chat if you would like to join us. That would be amazing. So have a fantastic week. Thank you for being here. I will see you again next week. Bye for now.